Is this the perfect Warbonnet Ridgerunner Rainfly? Hell yeah, it is. What's happening, everyone? Rob here, R Pelton 1. Thanks for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, I do a lot of outdoor backpacking, hiking videos, hammock camping videos, outdoor gear, outdoor gadget review videos. So if you're into those kind of things, if you dig those things, consider subscribing right down there so you don't miss a thing. But today we're taking a look at my new custom 13-foot Warbonnet Mountainfly tarp, specifically made for my Warbonnet Ridgerunner hammock. I keep the tarp in a Cuban fiber stuff sack. It's very, very water resistant, so I have to pack this away wet. It doesn't affect other things in my pack too much. It's the lightest you can get. I also mark kind of the head end of my tarp with this little red cordage here. This tells me that this is the side that I want to start setting my tarp up at. Now, the tarp, with all of its accessories minus the stakes, is 1 pound 5.5 ounces or 609 grams. Now, I throw in all the stakes that I need to set up my configuration. It only brings it up to 1 pound 8.5 ounces or 697 grams. It can pack much, much smaller. This has been a lifesaver in my pack for weight and space. All right, got the Warbonnet Ridgerunner set up. Let's set this bad boy up. I love this tarp sleeve. A buddy of mine made this for me. It's perfect, it's awesome. No one else makes a 13-foot tarp sleeve. Now for the pole mods. So why this tarp? I'll tell you why. For one, the material itself. This is a 10D SilNylon material, the lightest weight that Warbonnet offers. Now that's different from the SilPoly my last tarp was, and that was the Chill Gorilla. I have a review of that Chill Gorilla tarp right up here, and it worked out great for me for a while until my needs changed. So what this offers me is a material that doesn't stretch anywhere near as much as the polyester. You don't get a saggy tarp in the morning. And two, it doesn't absorb water anywhere near as much as the polyester. So you have better water resistance, low stretch, and much better, it's lighter. Now the trade-off that you do get is this material is not as puncture resistant as polyester, but for the trade-offs you get, I'm willing to take that risk. I've never had a problem with anything falling on it, mainly because I always check overhead for anything that may fall. But you could patch this up with some, tear tape or something like that if you did get a puncture. But so far, this thing has worked out fantastic. One big thing you'll notice about this being a fully enclosed tarp is the doors actually slope up instead of staying flat. So this gives me I can taper them out, creating more interior room. And you'll also notice that they taper up. That gives me a little bit more clearance for simply getting inside the thing. Makes it easier, but look at all this room underneath this. Their spreader bars on the Ridgerunner have no fear of puncturing this at all. It's like a palace underneath here. And it's much easier getting out from that end than this end. I'll show you. Cool little tip on the tarp corner tie outs. Now you see I already have it staked all the way down to the ground there. On the actual tarp itself, I use the Dutchware Fleaz. These stay permanently attached to the tarp via this little shot cord here. So this gets wrapped up with the tarp. Now, the guy line itself, you can see I have it staked all the way down. These guy lines stay permanently attached to the stake for two reasons. One, it's easier to see, so if you're cleaning up camp, you'll notice this line much easier than you would just a plain stake in the ground. Also, it's less things to wrap up and get tangled up in your tarp. You wrap this around your stake, put them away, they're all self-contained, and I love that. Now, one good tip, one thing that I found that works really, really well for a very fast deployment is I use stopper knots on my guy line. I have one towards the end here. I have another one about a third of the way down. What this allows me to do as I'm setting up, you can see on the Fleaz there's a little hook here. All I do is choose which knot I want. The knot will catch, and that's good to go. The tarp is essentially pitched at that point. I'll use this knot if I want a wider pitch. I'll use this knot if I want a little bit narrower pitch. So once I do this all the way around, the tarp is good. I can come back later and do my final tensions, lock it off, and then I'm good for the night. Hey, future editing Rob here. So just as a tip, while I'm connecting the guy out, I put the knot through the Fleaz first, and then I walk the stake out and stick it in from there. I just left that part out. Very cool tip, use it, you'll save some time. Now, my pole mods. These are the pole mods, the short version that I got directly from Warbonnet. I tie just a little piece of string onto the pull-outs, and they help pull the tarp up and away to fit a bridge hammock. These things weigh almost nothing, and they make such a difference while you're in your hammock, while you're underneath there trying to do anything. Get some pole mods for your Warbonnet Ridgerunner. And you'll also see that I have the pole mods on top of my continuous Ridgeline. That's to help give it a little bit more tension. Plus, if it's going to be a very, very windy night, the poles will end up rubbing on the string instead of the actual tarp itself. Much easier and cheaper to replace a Ridgeline than a whole tarp. Quick little tip, put your pole mods on top of your continuous Ridgeline if you use a continuous Ridgeline. Now, on the actual doors, they have little pull-outs as well. I have a small little carabiner here that I use once I pitch the tarp. I'll simply connect this together. Got a small little tarp clip here that I'll hook to this guy line and stake, and this will allow this to pull out and close, giving you that protection on the end from wind, rain, privacy. And the 13-foot long Ridgeline allows the tarp to extend way past the bridge hammock, and more importantly, the bridge hammock suspension, allowing you to close it a lot more and a lot better. The tarp actually has the cover one strap instead of the two individuals coming off of the bridge hammock. I'll show you what I mean. Now, when you have a tarp that isn't long enough and you go to close the doors, these two suspension lines that come off of the hammock, you bridge hammock owners know what I'm talking about, creates this little gap right here that does not allow this to close. So having a 13-foot Ridgeline eliminates that problem. Measurements. Complete Ridgeline, 13 feet or 156 inches. The bottom edge, 7 feet 2 inches or 84 inches. Door, 5 feet 2 inches, 62 inches. The sidewall of the doors, 2 feet 4 inches or 28 inches. Now, the panel pulls, the little tie-outs here for the pole mods. From the Ridgeline down to the panel pole is 2 feet, or, say it with me kids, 24 inches. Now you know. This particular tarp is the OD green coloration. It also is offered in a coyote, which is more like a tan. So either way, it's basically the standard Warbonnet color offerings. This thing has worked out so well. I've used it multiple times already, from the coverage, from the wind protection, from the ease of setup, the weight savings, the space savings. This thing has worked out so well, and I'm really glad I did it. It was worth paying a little extra to get it done. Now, at the time of this video, I think it was maybe 140 bucks. I don't know. I'll say what the price is right here because I got to look it up. But it's worth it for the Warbonnet Ridgerunner. I'll leave links to all of this stuff down in the description below, like where to get the actual tarp from Warbonnet. They have a custom section where you can order the Mountainfly. Just be sure to put it's a 13-foot, and in the notes tell them that it's for a Ridgerunner hammock so they know. And also, if you tell them that our Pelton 1 sent you, you will receive 0 discounts and no discount codes. I'm not affiliated with Warbonnet at all, but all the little accessories like the continuous Ridgeline, the little tarp flea dealies, I'll put all that stuff down in the description. Now, if you're interested in one of those mesh tarp sleeves that I keep this in, a buddy of mine makes those locally. He says he's willing to make a couple here or there for people who need them. They're like 25, 28 bucks, something like that. Leave me a message through Instagram and I'll get a hold of you to find a way that we can get that taken care of. But if you like this video, you don't want to miss any of the other videos that I put out, be sure to subscribe right down there so you don't miss a thing. I'll also throw a couple more vids over here for you to check out. And I also have an Instagram account where I post a lot of the pictures of the trips I go on, and you can follow me on Instagram right up here. I appreciate you stopping by. Get outside, enjoy this awesome world, and we'll see you on the next one. That's it. Video's over. You can leave. I'll leave.